Hey everybody, SmackWookie here. I just finished the Chrono Odyssey closed beta, and I wanted to share my thoughts with you guys about it. It caught my eye during the Summer Games Fest. I saw they were having a closed beta that was available by invite only, so I thought I'd give it a shot. I got the invite on Friday and I spent the whole weekend to check it out. Chrono Odyssey is developed by Chrono Studio and published by Kakao Games. The game's coming out of South Korea. It's an Unreal Engine 5 title, which means, unfortunately, it suffers from a lot of the issues that plague other Unreal Engine games like Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. The game is supposed to come out in Q4 of 2025, and surprisingly, it's going to be a purchase game. There's no subscription, it's not free to play, but we'll see if there are any play-to-win mechanics in the game, like using real-world money to buy boosts or items for crafting. The concept of Chrono Odyssey is pretty simple. You play as a soldier in an army in the world of Setera. The world has been invaded by evil monsters, and you're part of a group trying to defend everybody. Your base camp gets ambushed, you escape, only to get ambushed again by the big bad guy. You and an NPC do battle to try and defeat it, but you get overmatched. Right before you get hit with the finishing blow, time stops. The big baddie explodes, and a woman sends you back in time 1 year and asks you to give herself a message that the future has changed. And when you come to, you're presumably near the time frame of when this invasion started. There are 6 classes available in Chrono Odyssey, only 3 of which were playable in the demo. Swordsman, Berserker, and Ranger, which were playable, and Sorcerer, Paladin, and Assassin were not. The game plays like an action RPG. You move about during battle. You have special abilities mapped to your face buttons when you hold down the left bumper. You can dodge and block attacks. You have mana, vigor, and stamina, which limits you from dodging too much or spam attacking too quickly. Each class can use 3 types of weapons, and can swap between 2 equipped weapons at any time. Of the 3 classes that were playable, Swordsman and Berserker played pretty similarly. Ranger was different in that basic ranged attacks cost Vigor, which forced me to change to a Rapier and fight close ranged while my Vigor replenished. I'll be interested to see if there are more classes added in later updates. The combat is by far the best part of the game. It's fast-paced and challenging. You have to be prepared, and leveling is slow without it feeling like a slog. It took me about 4 hours or so to get up to level 9. The character customization was pretty in-depth. You can change any facet of your character: height, weight, proportions, eye color, brow size, nostrils, piercing, hairstyle, you name it. Even though you have a base avatar you can start with, you can make it look however you want to. I spent probably an hour just messing around with the character creation screen. There's a lot to like about exploring Setera. The main town actually feels like a bustling town with citizens who live and work there. There are a few quests you can pick up outside of the main quest line, like going to a nearby abandoned farm to recover mementos. Another quest giver asks you to gather herbs for a doctor to make a potion for a patient. There's just as much stuff to do outside of the town. After you get the proper gear, you can start fishing, logging, hunting, and gathering plants. Every so often, a quest pops up just by walking by a certain spot. The game does a great job at giving you guidance on where to go next without holding your hand. It reminded me a lot of classic World of Warcraft, where the game was so new, nobody knew anything about where to go or what to do, and you just had to figure it out. I just hope there are more quests available in the starting town than what we saw in the beta. My quest log dried up pretty quick. The game's looking and performing pretty rough. I have a pretty beefy rig. I've got a 12th gen i7, an RTX 3080, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and I can barely get 60 frames per second at 1440p. Global illumination was broken. The lighting would flicker a lot. There was no DLSS implementation. Texture popping plagued my entire playthrough all weekend. I had to set the graphics settings to medium just to make it playable. If I'm struggling this bad on my computer, I can't imagine what others were going through. This needs to get addressed before the game launches this fall. I came across a tweet from the CEO of Chrono Studio. He said this build of the June beta came from February, and they have an updated build they're hoping to use in the second closed beta coming soon. Overall, I really enjoyed the closed beta for Chrono Odyssey. The game was a ton of fun to play and explore. I was really engrossed in the story, the quests were fun, and it really reminded me of modern day World of Warcraft. But I do have my concerns. There isn't much of a combat tutorial. I had to figure out a lot of the character menu options myself, and the icons don't do a good enough job to tell me which skills I have set and what those skills do. I spent a lot of time fumbling through and just button mashing trying to figure out what did what. The game looks terrible in its current state, but I'm sure with some time and effort, that'll get fixed. My biggest concern is if the game will fall in line with other Korean MMOs and start following a play-to-win model. I love that there's no monthly subscription, but there's no way Chrono Studio can turn a long-term profit on this game just by selling it. They're going to need to sell DLC, and I'm not sure character skins will be enough. All in all, I'll definitely be checking out the next closed beta, but I'm still on the fence about buying when it finally gets released. Is 5 months enough time to fix the graphics? Do I have enough time to sink into another MMO? Time will tell. See what I did there? Anyway, I'm cautiously optimistic about Chrono Odyssey. It's already on my wish list though. Thanks for checking out my final impressions of the Chrono Odyssey closed beta. Also, check out my first impressions of the gameplay from the first night of the open beta. If you like